Have you voted yet in the elections?
No, I haven't voted yet.
Okay, is there a particular reason why you haven't voted? Are you going to vote or?
I'm definitely going to vote. I just haven't got around to looking at everyone's policies for each campus, so I'll probably vote on Thursday.
So have you made up your mind about who you're going to vote for, or talk us through your decision process, what you look for in a candidate when you are going to choose him? Because like you said, you're going to look through all their manifestos very carefully. So just kind of enlighten us on your decision making as a student and who you're going to pick.
I think I've already chosen who I'm going to pick for most campuses. I think what's important to take into account is definitely the policies most important, as well as personality, as long as they're approachable, because they have to talk to you whether you're their friend or if you know them or not.
Well, I actually spoke to the person. The person was modest in his own right. Yeah, he came up to us, he was engaging, and that's what I really liked about it. I like that kind of person you can engage with, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
I can just say for the last couple of days, we got coerced by quite a few people. However, 2 or 3 people really stood out. I really enjoyed hearing their manifestos and their ideas, and I believe that in the long term they can take this university forward.
I'm thinking of voting, but I haven't had a look on any manifestos yet. This year is just, last year I've been involved too much in the election, and this year I'm just like, what's the point?
Are there any ways that the Students' Union and you as a candidate can do more to increase the participation in the election?
I think possibly creating awareness from the Westminster side, so through lecturers speaking to their students, trying to emphasise how important the elections are to them, as we are representing them as a student body.
What do you feel, as a Students' Union, what do you feel they could do to make you feel like your voice is actually heard?
Just be more open, because to be fair, in all honesty, I think Student Union is becoming more like a clique instead of becoming a representation of everyone. So, just be like a representation of everyone instead of just for like a certain group or a minority.
You know what, it's quite sad. Not a lot of my friends are. Some are like, I can't be asked and things like that. But I genuinely do encourage students to participate in the elections, because essentially it's all for us and for the sake of us students. And you know what, if you don't agree with certain policies, then you need to speak up and make sure that your voice is heard, because it's your experience, it's your journey. So make sure, to take the upper hand in helping make decisions.
Visibility is an important one. Just seeing who your student union reps are throughout the year, seeing them about in person, maybe on stalls, just physically seeing them, because most of the time they're in an office just doing stuff. If you don't know them personally or you don't go in the SU office, you don't even know that they're there. So I think just seeing them around and seeing what they're getting up to and the changes they're actually making.
Maybe more promotion on like a roots level, so talking to students before, because at the moment, the first time I talk to a student saying, have you heard about elections, they're saying no. But if we'd done this a month ago, not just using Facebook and not just using posters, by telling the students, then maybe that's the way of getting them to do it, so yeah.
Making sure the candidates go to the other campuses as well. So I myself started off at Marylebone, so tomorrow I'll be taking a trip to Regents and Cavendish. But the more that candidates do that, the more awareness the whole elections process gets.
This is not that difficult to do, guys. Bringing more people to the table is not that difficult to do. It's actually very easy and highly uncomfortable at the same time. The way you go about bringing more people at the table is this. You go and you talk face to face to people. Talking face to face to people is not easy, it's difficult. It's very easy to say the wrong thing or screw the interaction over, and that's what people are afraid of. They're afraid of live interactions.
Lots of students have expressed their dissatisfaction with being kind of almost coerced into voting and being forced on flyers. How have you tackled that?
Well, I've been telling all students I've been able to speak to that it's really important you don't just vote for the first person to give you a flyer. You take some time out to go through the points that they've said, to go through and scrutinize it properly. I encourage students to ask me about my policies. I make sure they know why I'm telling them to vote, because I wouldn't tell you to vote for me if I didn't think I was a good candidate. But what's really important is that students, I don't know why, students seem to feel like they're not involved or they don't really know what Students' Union does. But then when you ask them to vote, they say, oh, I can't bother. So it's really important that you're proactive about it. Nothing's going to change if you're not active and you say, okay, well, I want someone who's going to listen to me, that's what I'm going to vote for.
Well, there's obviously going to be students that, you're not going to convince every 22,000 students, excuse me, my voice is gone by the way from my 2 days of campaigning, but you're not going to convince every single student to get involved. Some students just are generally not bothered at all, just want to get a degree and leave. But we've been doing our best. I mean, we just need to look at our sports numbers, get every year increasing, societies, events are increasing. Could we do more? Of course we could. My messages to students is get involved. It's your university, you're paying £9,000, have your say, decide who your officers are, decide on sort of the policies and the issues that you feel so passionate about, that you feel that we should, as officers, should take on board.